For me, it's not chasing like the specific result, because I've done that before. When I first started, I'm like, I just want to make money.
Yeah.
And I found out real quick, if you do that, you're going to be miserable and you're not going to be successful, and you're also not going to be a genuine person. Just not worrying about a paycheck, just not worrying about your needs. I think that's what sales is. Sales really is service.
You run into so many people that don't understand that concept, right? Of like, it's a people first industry. It's not a product first industry, where you're selling the person and you're selling who you are versus you're selling a product. Welcome back to episode 11 of Killing Conversations. Today, I'm joined with my homeboy, Rocky Bunker, VP of Sales for PayPro. Thanks so much for being here, dude. I appreciate you coming on.
I appreciate you, man. This is the place to be.
You know it, absolutely. So it's funny. We didn't know each other prior to coming into Kiln, right?
No,
we've actually gotten pretty close, and I've gotten to learn a lot about what you do and kind of what makes you tick. And I think it's really important for all the people that are going to listen to this to know who you are, because of just the incredible connector that you are, but also just these awesome ideas that you have constantly flowing. So first, kind of like, tell me just a little bit about you, dude. Like, you're from here, right? And
right.
Grew up in St. George. So tell me a little bit about you prior to, taking into the entrepreneurial route.
Yep. So I call myself a St. George native now, because I've lived here most of my life. I grew up in Lehigh till I was about 15, 16. Then I've lived here ever since. So I graduated high school here, and I love St. George. St. George is great. I didn't go to college. I actually just ended up, I did serve a mission. I lived in Argentina for 2 years.
Nice.
And then after coming home, I just went right to work. I started doing construction.
Okay. Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I did.
What were you doing?
I was just like a general laborer for a good company here in town. They're called Westland Construction. They're awesome.
So you're just like moving stuff for people, and
whatever they would need to do, we would do all ends of jobs, because we were just the subcontractor for the main contractor.
Yeah.
So anyways, it started there, and then I did that for about 2 years, just kind of bouncing around like different jobs and everything. And I actually really liked construction. I wasn't it wasn't like my main passion, but I really liked who I worked with.
Yeah.
And so it was a great company. But I was like, you know what? I'll go and try sales. And so I got recruited. I mean, you've probably seen this too, especially here in Utah.
For sure. I know what you're saying, yeah.
Right. When people get home from their mission, or even just out of high school, door-to-door knocking is a huge thing.
Yeah. Huge in Utah. Like, dude, when I moved here from California, like, I had no idea. When somebody came up to me and said summer sales, like, I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. For door-to-door knocking, I got hit up to do from a buddy that was doing pest control, and I just like, you know what, that wasn't for me.
Yeah.
Another buddy was killing it selling alarms, and I wasn't really passionate about alarms. Then I started looking into solar, and I'm like, okay, this is something I believe in. It's a win-win. I can make money saving people money.
Yeah.
So anyways, that's how I originally got involved in sales. I was doing door-to-door, and that's where it kind of started, just, finding a problem and then delivering a solution for people.
For sure.
And what I love most about sales is it's kind of this opportunity to just, find a problem and deliver a solution that's like a win-win scenario for you and the customer.
For sure.
And so I don't want to be selling something that I don't believe in, or something that I wouldn't want someone to approach me to.
Yeah, and it's really hard to sell when you don't find value in what you're selling either, because if you can figure out what's valuable of your product, and it's what I try and do here as well. It's like I try and create as much value and a solution for somebody and a pain point that they're able to just, like, it's not me selling a product or not me selling a piece of equipment. It's like, here's a solution for you.
Right.
Let me find these pain points and what you're dealing with in your day-to-day life.
Exactly. And if it's not the best thing for them, I mean, that's the same thing that we do at like PayPro for our business, is we're just there to help out businesses and empower them with multiple options.
What is the grind that looks like behind being successful at a door-to-door job, or being able to excel at something that tends to be kind of taboo, where you're going and knocking on people's doors, but there's so much that goes behind that, and it's from going every weekend, or grinding and just being in the car constantly, and being able to stay on couches or whatever that looks like, and it's just a hustle where you're just constantly going.
Yes. Okay. So that's a great question. For me, it's not chasing like the specific result, or like, because I've done that before. When I first started, I'm like, I just want to make money.
Yeah.
And I found out real quick, if you do that, you're going to be miserable, and you're not going to be successful, and you're also not going to be a genuine person.
Right.
And so for me, just not worrying about a paycheck, just not worrying about your needs. I think that's what sales is. Sales really is service. It's going out, finding your target customer. And if they're not your target customer, then don't force it.
Right.
And so with anything, I think this is the best kind of thumbprint with sales is lead with transparency, because the best sales are the ones that's kind of like this magnetic field around you where people want to come to you.
Yeah.
And that it's like, it's just true. It's like if we don't have the best formula, or if we don't have the best, system for a customer or a homeowner, whatever you're selling, then, don't force it. Right?
For sure.
So I would say my biggest thing, especially, with my solar journey that I really loved is, they call it the solar coaster. The industry there.
Yeah, I've never heard that. That's actually
you'll get the ups and you'll get the downs because laws and regulations are always changing. Like the government just passed the Genius Act that really, is going to shake up the solar industry right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I'm real passionate about, like, I see homeowners and what they're going through. I've knocked thousands of doors. I really have. I'm not this. There's so many people that have absolutely murdered it in sales and specifically solar and made a ton of money and been super successful. I'm not one of those people. I've made good money, and I've had good years and I've had bad years.
Right.
And I think what just keeps me, like, I don't know, kind of just so involved in sales is being able to help out homeowners and deliver a solution that works for them. And if it's not the best thing for them, then I'm not trying to force it,
Yeah, and I think that speaks a lot to, like, your ability to connect with people because you're so genuine about it. You run into some of these salespeople that are just like, you're just another number to these folks, where you're successful and where you're successful in PayPro is that being genuine with these people. If it's not right for them, then you're not going to start shoving it down their throat, right? You want to make sure that you're selling the best opportunity for these people. Right. How do you deal with the rejection of these, like, of just people in general, because sales it's a rejection game, and you have to just keep going back to it. When does that come from? When you were serving a mission where you're knocking doors then too, or how do you deal with the kind of rejection? Dealing with rejection,
that would actually be my most favorite part of the job is the rejection, because it's just misaligned communication. I'm not trying to just shove something down someone's throat that doesn't make sense for them. And so when I was knocking doors for solar, my most favorite customer was the one that would say, "Is this solar? Get the F off my property."
Yeah.
And that would just put
and why?
Absolute smile on my face, because I knew they were struggling. I knew they had a problem.
Yeah.
I did not at all worry if I were going to sell the system or not. My job was not to sell the system. My kind of phrase that I use when I sell solar, it's not a sale, it's an algorithm. Either the numbers make sense or they don't.
Yeah.
And so I would actually sell solar to a lot of homeowners that already had solar, but were still getting an energy bill. And so I could level with them. I put myself in those shoes as the homeowner where, okay, if I were a homeowner and if I purchased solar 5 years ago and I'm still getting an energy bill from the utility company that I went away from, that I would be super mad too. Right. And they'd get hit up all the time. There's people in California have been hit up for years and years about people coming to their door.
No doubt.
And so my approach is not trying to come at them at this angle, but level with the homeowner and actually understand what they're going through and de-escalate the situation.
For sure.
And if that leads to a sale, great. If not, I'll still take the time to help them out. That's what makes me feel good.
Yeah.
And that's what gives me the energy to go to the next house or the next person. And people can see through that. That's the thing about sales is, because I've been hit up a ton of people here in St. George. I've never sold a solar system in Utah. I've had a ton of friends and family hit me up and say, "Hey, I want to go solar." And I'm like, "Hey, honestly, I'm not even going to get you a quote. I think you're doing just fine without it, because I wasn't really full trusted in the solar implementation here in Utah."
Sure. Yeah.
Out in California, when they were paying 50 cents a kilowatt,
it's insane.
We got Dixie Power. Shout out Dixie Power.
Yeah, big shout out.
Greatest utility company literally in the nation.
Yeah.
They're awesome. But you have these monopolized giants out in California.
Right.
And I feel like that's the thing when you lead with sales is you have to identify the problem.
For sure.
I think it's ridiculous, for example, in the solar industry, in the energy industry, that we still have a monopolized industry.
Yeah. Oh, dude, for sure. Like my folks, they live up in Northern California, and dude, every season their power will just get completely shut off. Like, because PG&E or whatever these large companies are can just do that. And they're still paying for it. And it's not that they're not paying their bill. It's, hey, we have some sort of fire concern or some concern where they will just shut power. And it's like, it's absolutely insane, which you obviously wouldn't get with solar. And that's why you are solving those pinpointed problems in a certain area, right? That obviously we don't have that issue here.
Right. And that's where, looking back at like my solar career, what I was able to take from it, it wasn't this, very incredible, like, I guess, experience for me of like, okay, I'm out of solar now. I can retire or whatever.
Sure. Yeah.
A lot of people have hit it like that because, a lot of people have been able to make really good money on it. What I'm able to take from my solar career is my experience and taking a look at the industry, especially with the solar cycle, where you see these top companies rise to the top and then they go bankrupt.
Yeah.
And so I'm real passionate behind it. I'm not focused on the paycheck. I'm not focused on the result. I really am just trying to level with the homeowner. That's my target audience, is understanding the homeowner. And so I approach every sale as if I'm in their position. So.
Yeah. And that's great insight, because like you run into so many people that don't understand that concept, right? Of like, it's a people first industry. It's not a product first industry, where you are you're selling the person and you're selling who you are versus you're selling a product, right? Or you're selling something that, like, for example, selling space here at Kiln. I'm not selling you on the looks of something. I'm not selling you on this specific square footage or this specific space. I'm selling you on the personality that you get when you come in the door. I'm selling you on the amazing things that we try and offer and trying to put into benefit for these people that are in the building. And it's 100%. It's touching like an emotional connection versus just a baseline connection, right? And it's like when you're out door knocking, or you're trying to sell something that's going to be obviously something that's frustrating for people, you're creating that emotional connection with them because you have a solution.
Right. Dude, that is well said. And I will actually add to that as far as Kiln. That's what Kiln is amazing at. Like, the energy when I walk in the doors here, there's people everywhere. We're all on our own individual journey, whether it's, yourself and you're just getting a desk, or you have, one of these nice big offices for a big business. We're all on a different journey, but we're all adding to this like electric environment where everyone wants to succeed. Everyone wants to connect, and everyone wants to help each other out. Whether it, ends up good for your business or not, people aren't business first, we're people first.
Absolutely.
I think the Kiln's really good at that.
Yeah, and that's definitely what we try to promote, and that's something that getting to know you, I've noticed how good you are at that, is connecting with people, dude. And it's not just like in this space, like there's people that just know who you are because you're such a good connector. What's something that you can give people that's like a tip to being such a master connector?
A tip? Well, I don't know if I'm a master connector. You are. I appreciate that. I would say for me, going back to that piece of advice, is don't try, just be.
Yeah.
It's got to be natural. It's got to be organic. And in order for it to be natural and organic, it has to start with who you are. So I've been blessed with an incredible environment of people around me everywhere I go. Yeah. From my friends, from my family. I've moved a ton. I mean, I've probably lived at, in probably 20 different homes by the time I was probably 18 years old. And everywhere I went, I was just blessed with amazing people in my life of like, that's where it starts. Is it's not going out and trying to find a network. Oh, I see this person, I could profit off of them, or I see this business, I want to, get involved in their network. Like I said, it's just this magnetic field, this magnetic energy that you just got to be the best version of yourself, and that's just a byproduct of what comes.
For sure, absolutely, and I kind of want to tie that into what you're doing now with PayPro. First, just explain PayPro just as a generalized. Give me like the pitch of what PayPro is.
Okay, so the pitch for PayPro is we really are trying to revolutionize the payment processing industry, and we are not doing that by coming out with some technology or getting this big bank and cutting down fees for everyone. That's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to start at the very front of it and say, hey, businesses deserve representation when it comes to choosing payments. Traditionally, payment processing is done two ways. Either an ISO, which is an independent sales organization. It's like the sub-brand of a large processor. Okay. And so rather than just selling for one processor, we have over 20 sponsor banks that we're able to work with, and we'll approach a business rather than them trying to tackle their payments by themselves. And we lead with this. Our entire pitch with PayPro is our job is not to tell you what to do with your business. Our job is to empower you as the business owner with multiple options. So that's everyone already has a payment set up, right? And so what we start with is we'll get their statement. We'll see what we can do. We'll understand their needs. What software are they using? Are we able to integrate it with it? Or do they need something else? Do we have something better for them? And then we'll go back. Well, it'll take us some time to really find the best solution for them. And then, we'll come back to the customer and say, hey, this is what you're currently using. We recommend that, A, B, or C. Yeah. And if A is their best option, which is currently using, and it's not part of us, we will recommend it 10 times out of 10. Right. I will be honest, though, that doesn't happen really ever unless it comes down to we can't integrate with their software. Right. That's where I think the problem is that business owners have faced is softwares are now handcuffed with payments. And so you have the software where businesses are, running their entire business off of, but they have super high fees or they don't like their payment processor, but they can't integrate or switch. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And it makes me curious, like how when you go and talk to businesses, how aware are they of this? Well, like, because you're talking to me and I'm like, I have no idea.
Well, for one, kind of like the stigma, I would say that or like the feedback we get from business owners about payment processing is it's like a necessary evil. Yeah, where it's not
you
like
just pay it. Like
exactly.
Right.
And so we believe businesses deserve representation. Mostly people are doing businesses with banks or they have like a 1-800 number if they have a problem. Right. We believe businesses work so hard to create jobs for their families and obviously a successful business. They deserve representation. They deserve fair rates and they deserve direct solutions or also just customer service when it comes to taking or processing payments.
Yeah. When people go with PayPro, what do they get from you and from Cope? Like, do they have your phone number? Do they have what does that process look like? Because that's such having like an actual connection with somebody that you can call up and say, hey, I'm having this issue. Can you help me with it? Versus talking on a helpline or something like that. Like, what do your customers get?
So great question. Our customers we're a third party, and this is where I think it needs to be, and that's where we're bringing the balance back to businesses. Yeah. Because you have businesses, and then let's call it banks or processors. The banks and processors are the ones in charge, and it's just the scale's tipped way too much this way. Mm-hmm. We are here representing first the business owners, and that's our approach to them is our loyalty is to you, not to our partners. And that's where we're still able to provide these solutions on the banks or the processing side, but still putting the business owner first because I think that's how it should be.
For sure.
Rather than just one, because with businesses and payments, it's not a one size fits all. There's so many different businesses, so many different industries, and there's different ways to take payments with card present if you want to do recurring revenue or just a ton of different variables that actually go into payment processing. Yeah. So it's not as simple as, okay, best payment processor on Google, and you just click the 1, 2, or 3 that pops up. Or, people are getting reached out left and right by, ISOs or other payment processors for their business.
For sure, yeah.
But once again, that leaves business owners without representation. Yeah. So, working with PayPro, you get our personal number, and then you also, depending on the size of the account, we'll also just connect them directly with the processor. But if they are not we're like this little wedge between the processor and the business to where if they're not getting what they need, then we'll switch processors for them.
Oh yeah, that's huge because it's such a that's a pain point for a ton of businesses where it's like, do I want to go through the hassle of changing all my stuff? Right. Because you got, just stuff that we deal with. It's like, do I really want to have to go through all of these accounts, make this cancellation notice, make sure that I'm within contract, all that kind of stuff. If you have somebody that's there to like kind of middleman that for you, it takes so much ease off the business owner where they're just like, hey, this isn't working out for us. And then it sounds like you guys would literally come in and find another solution for them.
Absolutely. And that's where we love what we do is every single month is, we're continuously trying to earn the respect and the business of our customers.
Yeah.
That's what I love about it. And that's honestly the reason why I switched from selling something like solar, which is just like a one-time thing, and I'm not able to develop a relationship with those customers.
Yeah,
right?
like you're not going to have a 15-year client in solar. It's kind of just a one and done type thing where with this, you can build that relationship up and be able to, foster that and be able to grow that relationship, but also grow them in your company as well. Because as you guys start to expand, the more and more offerings you're going to start having, and you can kind of grandfather these people into that.
Yep. No, that's exactly right. And like with us, we've been able to help out a lot of businesses here in town from like different sizes. Our largest client, they do over 9 figures revenue a year. So it's a very large business. And when we came in and we saw their payment situation, it was absolutely horrifying. They had built up this incredibly amazing and beautiful business that helps out. I love their product. Yeah. Amazing product. Everyone would know this product. But for these guys, their payment solution, it was terrible. I mean, we ended up saving them over 70 basis points. Wow. And now, I mean, it's cool to see the savings. I mean, just the first year, we were able to save this business over $2 million.
That's insane.
Just for taking payments. Yeah. I mean, what can you do with a business for an extra $2 million?
Right.
So every business that we work with.
It's a lot of bonuses.
Yeah. No. Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I think that's the cool thing. What I love so much about PayPro is we really are there helping out businesses and very successful businesses. Big businesses need us. Small businesses need us. Yeah. Everyone needs PayPro. I really do believe that. Yeah. And if they have a better solution, awesome. We're not here to change their mind. All we're trying to do is empower business owners with multiple options to choose from. Yeah. But then also just the way it's structured, I mean, we see the same thing in like the insurance industry, right? Where you have insurance brokerages, right? I guess what they're the way I see it with payment processing is it's like selling State Farm. Maybe State Farm is the best for auto or life. I don't know, whatever State Farm is selling. Sure. But what are the odds that they're the best for every single individual business? Right. And so that's where we're a brokerage, but we have the business owners' backs.
Yeah. And you can create these custom packages for all of them. Yep. It's honestly such a cool idea and cool company that you guys have started. And where do you see this going? Like, it's a pretty. How long have you guys been operating?
So my partner's been doing payments for like the past 5 years. Yeah. And me and him together, we're about 2 years, about a year and a half in. Yeah. Full time doing this. And I would say my favorite thing about it is absolutely meeting new people. I love that. Yeah. But I would say every day I learn something. I learn something new. Yeah. So every business is different. Industries are always changing. And so what does the future look like for payments? Yeah. Well, everyone's talking about crypto. Everyone's talking about this. You know what? I don't know. Maybe someday, and maybe even in the near future, you're not going to have a middleman for a processor. And if that takes away my job, that's okay. Yeah. But until that day comes, we're going down swinging. Yeah. Right? It could be another 2 years. It could be another 20 years.
Yeah, we have no idea.
Right. But that's as far as going. Oh, sorry. What was your question?
Yeah. Where does this go? Like, where in 5 years, what do you see PayPro doing?
In 5 years, I see PayPro as like this. Sorry. Wow, that's a
deep question.
That is a deep question,
and it's something that I ask a lot of people because a lot of us get caught up in that day to day. You know what I mean? Right. And it's like I want to make sure that we at least I can kind of pull these ideas from people. You know, right. Where it's like, what does this look like in 5 years?
Well,
you know?
I would say,
what do you want it to look like in 5 years?
Well, I would say this. What I would want it to look like in 5 years is we've been able to help out tons of businesses to where the entire industry is woken up and saying, hey, you know what? We got to do the way these guys are getting accounts, which is customer first. Everyone else is trying to just push their narrative, push their channel. And that's where, we're transparent about this. And that's what really separates us is we don't touch the money. Right. It's not PayPro processing the money. we're not trying to restructure an entire industry on the back end side. Mm-hmm. We're trying to do it on the front end side.
Right.
And that involves relationships and networking. And before you have businesses signing contracts and getting them locked into rates, because we've had so many customers that are locked in and handcuffed and already have a terrible taste in their mouth about payment processing.
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to switch it up. So if I could say, where are we in 5 years? Honestly, I don't know. I hope we're this, like I said, this giant magnet for businesses just wanting to reach out and say, hey, what can you do for my business?
Yeah. Just a giant disruptor.
Yeah, exactly. Just a giant disruptor. And then honestly, we got to prepare for the day whenever crypto or technology is there to where you don't need a middleman. You don't need third parties to process payments because it's streamlined.
Yeah. You need to adjust or adapt or die, right? And
right.
What is that? I'm curious on the crypto end. Like, what's a pivot from, the USD to crypto? Like, where would you pivot in that?
Well, great question. And this is something that I will say, everyone, whether they're on a podcast or they're the owner of a business or especially in their industry, everyone wants to push their narrative or say something that works for them. And so honestly, for payments, if crypto comes, that is the end of, we'll have to transition.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, I don't know. I also think that nobody knows.
Yeah.
Because I think the adoption of crypto or, taking payments like that, the people have to wake up. And it'll start with banks waking up, which we're starting to see that a little bit. Mm-hmm. But for now, it could be years away. It could be a decade or two. I don't even know. Right?
Yep.
So sorry for that. That's the honest question I have for you. I don't know. That's where the future is not uncertain. That's all we have is today. We have right now. We have this month, this year, this quarter, whatever you want to think about it, and just worrying about the things that we can control. That's what I love most about PayPro, and to sum everything up about what we do, is we put businesses in control of their payments. We don't lock them into contracts. They're not having to pay us. Our service is free to them because we, obviously we're doing, how do we get taken care of as a business? We do that from our partners. Mm-hmm. So our job, we know we're going to, make a living for ourselves and our families, not by selling something, but just by empowering business owners with options. And if they're able to choose one of our options, well, then it's a win-win.
Yeah,
right?
For sure. That's cool, man. It's so fun to kind of hear about just from start to kind of what you're doing now. And I've had the pleasure to get to know you over the last few months, and like, it's just every day that you come in here, it's a joy, man.
Well, thanks.
It really is.
Well, thanks, bro. But, you too.
Well, dude, thank you so much for coming on the podcast, man. I'm so excited that people are going to get to learn more about PayPro and we'll learn more about you. And if you guys see Rocky around the spot, make sure you come and say what's up, and then also check out PayPro. Where can they check that out?
You can go to teampaypro.com. And you can. There's a contact button, or we're here at the Kiln. We try to, come meet us at the Kiln or whatever. It's not that hard to get in touch with us. But
that's the whole point, right?
This is great. Thanks for having us. I love the Kiln. I love working here, and it's been a great podcast.
Thanks, man. Thanks for coming on.
I appreciate it.